All right, catch your breath, Canada. We're live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. If you don't catch us live, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo for the fastest 2 hours in hockey.
In hockey?
We are the fastest 2 hours in hockey.
I'm not contesting the speed, but what sport are we going to discuss here?
Well, I got a Jays jersey on. I got a hoodie Jays. We got the Jays jersey hanging up, and I went NHL alumni.
Well, in fairness, we didn't have any communication about it. I just happened to.
Nice little thing you got going there.
What's
That's
that
nice.
thing?
That's nice.
I picked it up yesterday.
Yeah,
I was going to the game. I was like, I need something.
It's sharp. It's sharp.
We all ended up at the game together.
Yeah, we
And-
were together. We just all ended up at the game.
Yeah.
Who's the chattiest out of the three of us on our YouTube?
The group chat?
Yeah.
WhatsApp? Not
WhatsApp.
YouTube. WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp.
Yes.
I'll give you the nod at the baseball, Kipper. You're the guy.
Okay. We need to have a talk.
We do actually vote.
We do need to have a talk.
Kipper's jinxiness.
Like baseball, unlike any other sport, is the most easily jinxable sport.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that was like, I actually said, Jesus, relax.
Yes, you
last
did.
night. What was the thing that you said? At
It was
what
like
point?
said it's
he goes,
over.
we're going to game 7, boys.
I told you we're going to game 7 in what inning?
I don't know. At
Sixth.
9:40 p.m.
6th inning.
Yeah.
We are heading to game
It was
7,
over.
Sammy. Gotta believe.
And then you shut me right down. Didn't you?
I did. So where were you guys sitting? Were you in the upper deck?
Yeah, we were 521,
Yeah.
so just kind of behind home plate, 7 rows up. It was
Wow.
wonderful. Wonderful. I had my boy who's 9, good view from there. It was fun.
And Kyper?
Yeah, we were 128 section, which is right between the Jays dugout and the first base line.
Beautiful.
I was sitting beside Bobby McMahon last night.
Were you really?
Yeah, he was 2
Did you have a
seats
good
over
talk
from-
with him?
No, he was there with his whole family. I'm not
Was
gonna
he?
talk
Good.
to him. He was there with like his mom, his I think his wife, kids, whole thing going on there.
Oh,
So
yeah, wow.
looked like they're having a good time. He looked like he was.
They could afford tickets. That's nice.
He looked like he was somewhat into it. I could ask him for some money for a ticket for tonight.
So you're debating on whether you're going or not tonight.
So, hear me out on this. This is some extreme boy math here, okay? Last night, I was lucky enough to be given my ticket by my great friend Danny. Very, very lucky to get to go for free last night. An all-time experience, one of the best games I've ever been to. Tonight is decidedly not free, but it's not as bad as it would be if I'm going on the secondary market. I can get face value tonight. So if I'm doing it, I'm like, well, I'm just getting 50% off for tonight because I didn't pay last night. So it's like this. I'm paying half price for
To
both
me,
tickets.
that's not even boy math. That's just
just
math.
right math.
You
That's
had
correct
money set
math.
aside for a
Yes.
game. Now
Yeah.
you're just going to a game.
Okay.
I think I have to go.
No.
What?
Listen to me.
What the hell?
Listen to me.
Oh my God.
Stay at home tonight. Keep your powder dry because you're going to want to go to Dodgers and Blue Jays, and you're going to
That
have
is-
to
Jinxie
pay.
he is?
And you're going to have to pay.
That is a risk.
No.
I don't know if that's a risk I'm willing to take, brother.
But we may never get another opportunity to see Jays Dodgers World Series in our lifetime. That's how unique it's going to be. And you need to go to one of those games,
I think
and
you
you
still
need to
would.
save your money.
Can I tell
Okay.
you something really gross about Friday, Saturday night? That if the Jays happen to win this game tonight, so hard to do, maybe won't. Game 7, anything is possible. Game 1 is Friday. Leafs play the Sabres at 7:30 on Friday, and then they play the Sabres on Saturday at 7 o'clock. So back-to-back games across
Yes.
from the World Series is Leafs and Sabres.
Yeah.
I can think of no worse punishment than watching those Leafs games.
You got to get someone else to do those. The Leafs talk. You got to.
Anyways, so I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go.
So you're not gonna go to a World Series?
Yeah, I'm
game?
probably gonna go to that day. Listen, I'm gonna go broke. How often do I adore the Toronto Blue Jays? How often?
Yeah, I know.
How
I'm just trying to
often?
save you a little
How
bit.
often? How often?
All I want to say about that game last night is,
Yeah.
For that experience in that place, like high-fiving fans around you, 3 innings in a row and in double plays to get out of what felt like, oh my God, jams, the Barger home run, the Vladdy home run. That was my favorite sporting event I think I've been to.
The Cal Rally first pitch double play is I needed a dart after that.
And
that was as good.
brilliantly
That
executed.
was as good as it gets.
Like
First
Savage
pitch.
booked it to first.
And you're just thinking, you're sitting there, you're like, they didn't score enough in the runs in the bottom of the third. They let them off the hook a little bit. Cal Raleigh comes up. You're like, oh, here we go. This is where it flips. And first pitch, a lot of praying.
Just my last thought
Yeah.
as I left the ballpark last night is that if John Schneider would have just followed the same sequence of
Every fan in the
pitchers,
building watched him.
we'd be getting ready for the World Series right now.
Or they would have seen Hoffman one more time, and it plays out differently the next time they see him.
Not a chance.
I didn't want to be that guy today. I don't want to go
No,
there.
I'm
Well,
okay.
listen,
All right.
everyone in the building saw
Okay.
mow down
Positive
the meat of
vibes
the order.
only. I was in a incredibly dark place on Friday night. That's as bad as it's ever been. So let's not talk about that. And let's hope Brendan Little does not factor into the decision this
He
evening.
doesn't need to pack a jersey to the game tonight.
Leave your cleats in the hotel room.
Yeah. Enjoy your seat for the game.
In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Jason Demers, former NHLer, who now does a great job as an analyst, NHL Network. We'll go through what we saw over the weekend or when we weren't focused.
Hold on now. To be clear, I also watched hockey. I do want to put that
Did
on the
you?
record. Yeah. I
Okay,
did.
good. Good.
Highlights
Saturday
if I
was
didn't see
really
games.
nice, by the way. I golfed Saturday.
You did. Jeez, you guys are living.
Yeah.
I watched afternoon hockey, and I watched Leafs, and I watched some of the your boy
Watched that
Mitch.
Canucks game yesterday.
Watch your boy Mitch lighten it up against the putrid Calgary Flames.
Yeah.
Holy crap! It's going to be a long year in Calgary, boys. Long year.
By the way, they played 6 games, and I got the first tweet mention. Hey, what do you think the Leafs could get Kadri out of Calgary? That's already. I think it's my. I got to shout out who it is here, but either way, it's already in my mentions.
I got a few DMs. On that.
Doesn't take long.
No.
A lot of attention when it wasn't on the Jays out of Washington yesterday with the Vancouver Canucks, where they managed to get a win, but a huge hit. Tom Wilson involved again
Who?
on Filip Chytil.
Chytil, that's his 5th concussion, I believe. And how old is Filip Chytil? He is 26. Just turned 26. So
Yeah, he
it's a
needs
concern.
he needs to quit.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, he can't just keep taking those hits.
Yeah.
And what
I
did you
know.
say? 6?
I think it's his 5th concussion.
5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I made a hard decision. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't regretted a second of it.
You know, I think there are guys that, remember Ryan Clough at the end of his career? There's a guy in Colorado that was wearing a pink visor at one point because he had so many concussions.
Kasha here too.
Yeah.
Had the tinted visor because he was
Right. And the second you need optical assistance to
Yeah.
play the game because your
He-
brain is not doing great.
Yeah.
I saw some
a scary
describing it as a blindside hit, and it's like, no, he just doesn't have awareness. He just lacks that antenna.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's Wilson, although I think maybe other people would argue that Wilson other people wouldn't have thrown the hit. So when I was young, Kip, and this is, given our slight age difference, not much, but probably when you were playing in the NHL, a couple steamboats after they released the puck, you could hit a guy.
Yeah.
Pass the puck, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, you can still hit. It feels like now it's less acceptable. Like those hits are deemed predatory by the public, even though that's still a legal hit. And by the way, that's as much as you can hit a guy in the body. He just shook his brain with the contact, but
They have NHL head office has clocks,
yeah.
right? And I do believe 0.5 or 0.6 seems to be a safety.
Right. Like, I just don't know if Chytil
0.8
should
seconds,
be looking.
0.8 seconds
there.
after you let go of a puck, I think, is deemed late.
Is that
And-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's factual. Like they clock it, they
Right.
time it the moment the puck leaves and how much. And he was well within, but people don't like to see those hits anymore, or they do. I don't know,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to see them when somebody doesn't get up.
Right. So part of the reason I mentioned that is because part of the reason you used to hit was for intimidation. And so the other decor would be like, God, even when I move the puck, I'm going to get hit. Every time I touch the puck, I know it's coming. I need to rush this so I have more time to brace for the hit. I'm going to get hit. I'm going to get hit. And so now hitting feels like, or some people want it to be just to separate people from the puck or when they have the puck. But hitting used to be a technique, a tactic, part of the game that was separate from just.
It is still. But
it
we just don't have that many guys that can
that
make
do it.
that hit anymore.
And so it seems unusual.
Right?
That's exactly the thing. We've talked about this before on the show, but guys just don't expect to get hit like that anymore.
They don't.
And there's there 5 guys in the league that are going to hit you like that. And
Honestly, Sam, you might be right.
And when there's one of them on the ice, you probably shouldn't like admire your pass for a little bit because he's going to try to inflict pain. Like I saw a lot of Canucks fans being like, "Oh, he didn't even think about the puck." Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he had
That's
he was hitting to hit.
It's Tom Wilson.
That was a hit.
And was it
hurt.
Was it 2 minutes for interference?
It
Probably.
was interference.
But I can't really get anywhere more than that.
Unfortunately,
It was no penalty in the play.
there's no penalty.
No penalty.
But I'm saying I thought that it was like he clearly had released it and was moving on, and it didn't feel. I know it's bang bang, but like I think that's probably an interference penalty. No for you. Still just a hit.
Again, for it to be interference, it has to be late.
Yeah, and was it not within that? No,
it was not late.
And gosh,
It was not late.
And it's sure tough to come up with a penalty.
I think in this era, you could make the argument that it's like you said, they have their timer, but for fans these days, that's late, right? Maybe not according to the NHL, but for fans, that's late.
All right, let's go to our first guest, Jason Demers, a former National Hockey Leaguer and someone that played most recently out of any of us here, who might have
or at all in some cases,
who might have a really good feel of these type of hits now in today's game. Jason, thanks for joining us. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Yeah. So, just further discussing the big Tom Wilson hit in your mind. What did you see of it? Where are you on these type of hits? And does it really come down to whether or not you're late or not based on the amount of time between releasing the puck and getting hit?
It's so tough when, especially the guy that got hit, Filip Chytil, who's had some concussion injuries and things like that, but that was cleaned. I looked at it a million different ways, slowed it down. You could argue at most, I think it was a touch late for an interference call, but that's like splitting hairs. I just think he makes that pass up the wall, and that's dangerous when you're coming up the dot lane like that as a lefty and you're making that pass and then you're leaning into the middle. Like you're kind of really opened up and exposed, and that's Tom Wilson's calling card. He back checks hard through the middle, and if you kind of don't mind your P's and Q's and your head's not up, you're going to take a hit. Now, I don't want anybody to get hurt, and that's, that's where people go out, well, he's injured, this and that. I'm like, Tom Wilson had his shoulder down. He just went through the chest. It's unfortunate there's an injury, but to me, that was clean, and there's not much argument there. The refs looked at it too, so I think after that, the refs look at it and took a good hard look and said it wasn't even warrant a penalty. So it's tough because it is Tom Wilson, and a lot of Canucks fans and fans around the NHL. He's a hot button issue anytime he hits anybody. So, but no, that was clean to me.
Jason, you know what it reminds me of is like a LeBron chase down block. Like Tom Wilson comes back on the back check, like in a predatory. He has a plan. Like he's not just coming back to like protect the middle of the ice. It's like, oh God, this guy has a purpose. So I want to ask you, how many guys in the league are like that? Like, and when you're out there, would you be aware that, okay, one of the half dozen guys or so that does that is on the ice?
Yeah. Can you take my head off?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, how many guys there are, not as many as there used to be, but you should know as a team when you're playing Tom Wilson. I mean, the closest comparison I go back to when I played was Raffi Torres, and you just knew that the bench had to be hyper aware. The bench had to be screaming at all times. If Tom's on the ice or Raffi's on the ice and you see him kind of have a beat, you have to take care of Chytil as well in that position. I know it's such a bang bang play, it's quick, but you got to be understanding and seeing, and you see it coming. Like as a player, those guys. Like you could see as soon as the puck's turned over and he's coming back, it's like if he's coming to finish somebody. Like you got to make sure that you're ready. And if you're on the bench, you got to take care of your teammate a little bit too. So I always put onus on the bench as well as the guys that are taking care of the puck. I just think that there needs to be awareness as well. You're playing Tom Wilson. Is as much as he's not doing anything during that game. I know it was quiet at that point. They were down 2-0. Vancouver was all over him. You got to understand in that situation that Tom's looking to do something. So it's like you just got to be hyper aware. You got to understand that you make that pass, just take a quick look. Just get your head up as you're moving. Don't admire the pass. And that's unfortunately in the NHL today, there's a lot of that, and a lot of guys can get caught. And just when you admire your pass like that, you're in a bad spot. Your head's cocked to the right. You're not looking. So that makes it even more dangerous for your chin, the impact. If you just kind of take a quick look in the middle as you make that pass, you'll be set, you'll be ready. You probably won't even get a piece of you. So it is tough, and it's hockey so quick, and that's what makes these conversations so fun, because you kind of have to you get to analyze it and pick it apart. But yeah, it's you just have to have an awareness on the ice when you're playing Tom Wilson at all times, and if you don't, you're putting your own health at risk there.
You're watching and listening to Jason Demers, 700 games played with the Sharks, Stars, Panthers, Coyotes, Oilers. Did I miss anybody, Jace?
KHL,
Bako,
Finland, Bako, Worcester,
there you
Tucson.
go.
We made our way around.
And now presently doing a great job on the NHL Network as an analyst. So, Jason, just in terms of today's response to either hits or cheap shots, we've seen it a little bit around the league. Vancouver, I think, did okay for the most part, after the hit. But
what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do? Is it harder now? I hate doing the when I played the game, there'd be 8 guys.
I love doing that. I love doing that. Back when I played, it's the best.
Is it hard now watching the response of certain guys when something like that happens? And we saw something in terms of the Leafs and Seattle and the Leafs with Mason Marchment going into Stolarz, and just today, is it easier for guys to just look at certain things on the ice and go that's really not it's not my bag. I'm sorry, it's not my thing.
Yeah, it's so tough, but I always equate it to in those moments who's your gamers and who's you're not. Who are the not gamers and the guys that don't really want to get into that. You see it fast, and it's not a knock on anybody. Listen, you have it in you or you don't. But the thing that I was used to say back when I played, and I was told is, I wasn't the toughest guy by any stretch of the imagination. I fought 5-6 times. I think I got beat up every single time. But, I was willing to go in there, and, what's the worst that can happen? You take a couple licks and that's it. But it's worth more taking those licks to just go in and show your teammates that you're engaged and you care. And I know you say that and guys go, oh, well, I do care. And it's like, yeah, you do care. But listen, there's a level of just going in and giving a cross check or giving a face wash. You don't have to drop your gloves in today's NHL. You can punch a guy in the face with your glove on. And, I'm not advocating for guys to go around and just start swinging blindly and just being an idiot. But when something happens, like the Mason Marchment, Mason Marchment, you know what type of player he is. You can either choose in that moment to let him get up, or you could dive into the net. You don't have to take your gloves off, but when you're in the net on top of him, maybe giving him a face wash, that's at least enough to prove and show that you care, that you care about Anthony Stolarz and you want him, and you want guys in the league to not go to the net like that. You don't want Anthony doing that, because once Anthony jumps in on that, specifically related to the Mason Marchment thing, if he jumps into the net, now if you're on the bench for Seattle, well, he's frustrated. So let's keep going to the net. He'll take a penalty, something like that. Versus if you're a D-man, just dive into the net, dive on top of him. They're not going to give you a penalty to dive on top of him and maybe kind of rough him up a little bit. And a lot of the times that kind of irons itself out. Now, when you're talking about when guys, the Filip Chytil one, when he gets hit, there's no penalty, it's clean. I do believe in you take a number, you wait till he's in a position to finish it, check hard on him, maybe try to get him in a spot where he's chipping a puck out and you can finish on him and you can maybe, get a clean hit. And if you do want to go and fight him and, go for it, but, not taking the instigator penalty is always it makes it interesting because anytime now you see a lot these hits and then guys just jump in right away and they take a 2-minute penalty. And that was kind of that was the thought process I heard from Brendan Carlo was, we had a 2-minute penalty. We had a power play. Well, you're not going to get a penalty if you just jump on top of him in the net and maybe face wash him a bit. And if it goes to 4-on-4, who cares? Because now you've shown to your teammates that you have the capability to defend your goalie when times get tough and there's guys jumping on top of him. And maybe that'll kind of, that'll stop Seattle from doing it so much. Because I feel like he has taken a few runs more so than in years past. And I think it's just one of those things that as a player, you got to make that decision and you got to find a way to toe the line, but still don't just stand there with your hands by your hips. That does nothing.
Jason Stolarz came out in the media and said, not just about that play, but he basically said he didn't say his name, but he's like, yeah, Nylander, didn't work on the back check there essentially.
He said it without saying it.
He totally said it. So I think he even said today that he spoke to him directly because he obviously said it. I want to get your thoughts on sort of a call-out culture within a team. The Leafs for the last couple of years have never really had one. It's always just kind of like a blind eye to it. This is one of the most vocal we've heard anyone be about the team. Do you think it's a good thing for guys to be outspoken about some shortcomings like that?
Oh, man, you asked me the tough ones today. I think it depends on, where you are and what city. I think Toronto, who knows what's going on internally because, the media in Toronto is around always and in Canada. So if you do say something that in a state of emotion and anger, which Stolarz was, you're getting talked to after the game, he was pissed off. He was upset. You could have seen why too, because, I think they should have had that game against Seattle and you kind of, you had some moments, but, they just didn't play a consistent game. And then you give up a goal that's lazy in overtime and you give up 2 breakaways in overtime. One leads to a goal. So, for him, I understand that, but you always have to be careful. You have to watch out, maybe the next day once you've calmed down and slept on it, but you never want to go out emotional in the media. You can say you're pissed off. Hey, I don't think we played good as a team, but talking about a back check and specific guys, then you just open up a can of worms and you don't need that. I like that he went and addressed Nylander after, but to me, I'm like, grab him in the room right after the game. Don't even let him take his helmet off and bury him in the room. And maybe he did. And that's the part we don't see, but don't run into the media after because you're upset and don't say anything. I've seen guys, you could see them coming to the room after a loss. They're upset. The media's coming to talk to them and they're mumbling to themselves. And it's like, just say what you feel right there. Just let it out before the media comes in. Let's just lay it all out there. And once you've said it, okay, it's all good. We all love each other. We're a group of teammates. We're battling together. It's fine to get mad at each other. Like I'm sure he was mad at Nylander and would have yelled right at him for that play, but yell at him, get it out of your system. And then once the media walks in, it's, hey, we didn't play a great game. And that's that. So.
Jason, do we look at the Edmonton Oilers and say maybe somebody needs to say something there because they're off to, I guess, I don't know, notoriously slow start again? Is that okay because we've seen this movie before out of the Oilers, or, does something like this inevitably catch up to them at some point? Bad starts.
Yeah. I guess my question is, do they have, the depth that they've had in years past and the last 2 years specifically? Like, is their team better than it was yet last year or 2 years ago? And I'm not 100% sure. They're not healthy right now. I think once Zach Hyman's back and then Jake Wallman's back, I think that's going to be a big boost for this team. It's just always tough with Edmonton because, I think I've been in media now 2 years ago on my third, and we're wrong on them all the time because you're like, every time they look like there's just no way out, they find a way out. And then every time you think this is the greatest team alive, they just lose 5-6 straight. Now, I mean, they haven't looked great at all. They can't get back to Edmonton fast enough. I mean, this East Coast swing has not been good. And I did one of the classic media Twitter things. I tried to protect Evan Bouchard, hoping he'd go and get 2 points last night, and I'd look great. Told everybody to pound sand, and gosh, he didn't look good again. And I think I was like, come on, Bouch, help me out here. I know you're good enough. So, but it's this.
Oh, that's funny.
It's just this team. They're just so up and down, and I feel like they just do it differently than the Florida Panthers have done it the last years, and they haven't won a cup, so they're still missing something. But they're just a complete opposite of Florida, where like Florida tries to be this model of consistency and structure, and Edmonton's like, let's just roll the dice and see what happens, game in and game out, and it'll work out because we have two of the best players in the game and some high offensive output players. So, but I'm always like measured expectations with Edmonton, because they started off great playing defensively, and we're all like, they figured it out. They figured out the starts, and now they're right back to where they were last year. So I'm like, let's see the next 10 games. And I think missing Hyman's big too, though. I think it's bigger than people think. He is the driver, the heartbeat of that forward group, and kind of drags a lot of those guys into the games because his work ethic.
Edmonton. One more on Edmonton?
I was going to do Detroit. So
can I just have one more from you on Edmonton? And that is Connor McDavid, no goals in 6. And we saw a ton of energy. And I mean, whether or not Connor was affected with all this talk about will he sign, won't he sign, what kind of whatever he felt through it, I can't speak of. But I just know the amount of oxygen it had around it. Does that play in now a little bit for you, watching him have no goals in 6 games?
I feel it's more the question of, he's kind of been very vocal this offseason about wanting to score more and wanting to shoot the puck. And I'm like, anytime a guy says that, when I'm like, you're doing pretty good, you're a pretty good player.
Maybe don't
like,
mess with it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's on easy mode for you, and you're just now like figuring out these side quests and these challenges because this like hockey's too easy for you on an individual level. So I'm always like, just kind of go back to your game, and the shots will present itself. And Connor pulls so many guys to him because he's so magnetic the way he plays for the defensive side of the puck, because everybody's staring at him and they're mesmerized, so it leaves people open with opportunities to score. And that's just the way he is. And that's just a credit to his skill level and his speed and the way he's just able to influence the play offensively. So I'm just always like, just take what's coming to you. Like, don't think you got to score 50 to prove something to whoever, or maybe prove it to yourself, but just play your game. And at the end of the year, he'll be at 100 points and he'll be fine, whether it's 45, 50, 60 goals. So I just think that him putting that out there a little bit is maybe he's just not looking for the plays that he's normally looking for, and he's looking to get into positions to shoot versus just getting into those natural positions that Connor McDavid gets into, because he's so good and he's able to kind of just open up things by the way he moves in and out of space. So I think it's more that than the contract situation. I think that in itself, maybe it lent a little bit of pressure to him. I think it's more pressure on the Oilers because, he signs that deal team friendly, but it's like tick-tock. Like, you got to find a way to get this guy the best possible team and get him finally over that hump. And maybe that has kind of played into his, mindset to start the season. But again, I'm very measured expectations with the Oilers. I expected them to, not have as good a team on paper as they had in the last few years. So I expect them to struggle a little bit. So the start of the season, they look great defensively. Now I'm kind of like, okay, this makes sense. They're missing 2 big pieces.
Yeah.
And, Connor's not scoring. So this is where we're at now.
The side quest thing is so funny to me because I was trying to think of the only other guy in the league. Remember Sid every summer came back and was like, oh, I worked on a backhand, or, oh, I'm good at face-offs now. It's like just creating their own missions within the year.
It's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate you for
too
doing
easy.
that. Here I am just trying to learn how to skate and stand on my 2 feet, and you're just figuring out how to score.
Yeah, no, it's pretty ridiculous. So last one for me is a personal one. I was going to ask you about Detroit and, the whole league at large, but for you, you said you're in year 3 now of doing the media stuff. How much more do you know about the NHL now than when you played in the NHL, as you're forced to kind of know about what's happening with every team at all times now?
God, I would have played an extra 10 years, I think. just all the inside information you get learning about tendencies and stuff like that. But no, I mean, the Red Wings specifically, I mean, I after game one, I think everybody thought the world was crashing down, but we talked about it on the network, me and Mike Grupp, and we were both like, we loved what Todd McCullough did. You know, I think don't wait 3-4 games. Like if your team comes out of the gate, you have all training camp, all summer, you should be your most excited and your most engaged in game one of the season. And, you know, they laid an egg and I think he hit it nail on the head. I think it was perfect. You want to hold these guys accountable right away. And they've been great defensively. These young guys they brought in have been, you know, super, super important to this team. Emmett Finney has been I'm part of the coalition of the 7th rounders, and he's just done a great job coming in and you know, providing a spark. And I think Dylan Larkin looks like he loves playing with him. You got Nygaard, you got Sandin Pellikka. There's a lot to like from this Detroit team, and you know, I think the biggest, and we kind of poked around it. I think this John Gibson pickup is going to end up being one of the bigger significant, you know, moves that happen this offseason, because I think goaltending wise, him and Talbot are going to be very good down the stretch, and they're going to be able to kind of keep each other, you know, I don't want to say accountable, but they're going to keep each other accountable. There's going to be a little competitiveness there because it's two kind of older guys that sometimes get fatigued halfway through the season, and now they got each other kind of playing off each other. So there's a lot to like from this team. You know, I think we all have had high hopes for a while now, and have talked about the Weiser plan, and I said why, because the Weiser plan and what's he got cooking, and it looks like he's found a good mix of guys now these first 6 games of the season. But I still think they're missing something on the back end. But overall, I do really like what they've shown up front and in net. So it's interesting. The Atlantic Division with, you know, Florida missing Barkov and missing Tkachuk. There's an interesting Tampa not playing great. They just have not played, don't look like themselves. I think it's going to be very interesting, and we might be surprised at the end of the season or, you know, halfway through the year at how the first three spots have kind of shaken out.
He is the 7th round pick. Jason Demers, awesome stuff, bud. See how I caught that?
Thanks, buddy.
I caught that.
You like that?
I did
Coalition,
like that.
Baby.
I like the 7th round drop in, buddy.
I would have loved to have been drafted in the 7th round. That sounds great.
Great stuff. Okay, we're going to have you on again real soon. Thanks for doing this, pal.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Jason
appreciate
Demers.
it.
That was fun.
Yeah. You were undrafted.
Undrafted. I wasn't even good enough to
I believe
be
you have a book.
considered.
I believe you have a book called
I
that.
do have a book. It's
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming.
Barney, your book?
Yeah, we're good.
Down and back?
It's run its course. It's doing great.
So just to go back a little bit, I think we'll go to break soon, but
Yeah, we
just,
should go to break soon.
just, you know, the one thing that I look at the 2-year deal by Connor McDavid, and I get 4 years is a 4-year deal would be like, okay, they could have a bad year and, you know, he's not going anywhere. But a 2-year deal at the same amount of money has got now everybody going, okay, he has a subpar year. Edmonton has a subpar year. Like, he's out of here, you know?
Well, I mean,
I think that's the pressure, though,
Yeah.
of a not a good start, or the pressure that he has upon himself he needs to carry that this is a contending team all the time. There's no wiggle room, you know, and I don't know what a slow start means because we've seen them dig themselves out of it, but you can't keep going to the well on that and thinking, oh, we've done it before, we're going to do it again. My point in all of this is that anything sub has everybody leaning towards. That's why he signed this deal, so he can get the heck out of here.
It's so true, actually.
I hate that energy. I don't like that energy for him moving forward. Now he's 0-6. They're not doing well. Evan Bouchard doesn't even have a point. The guy's like -5.
does he not have a point?
No, in 6 games.
I honestly, I didn't really.
Like that's $10.5 million.
Yeah.
I hate that if he's not having a good year or the Oilers don't have a good year, everybody just goes, okay, he ain't sticking around.
I just don't know what the solution to that would have been, though. Like, aside from a longer commitment.
Yeah, longer
That's
commitment.
it. That's the
That's
solution.
the
But he didn't
solution.
but yeah, okay. But like, if you don't want to commit somewhere that isn't going good, this is, I guess, just the way it is.
But he now, like I'm sure he hates looking at the goose egg in 6 games. I don't even recall ever in the history of his life if he's ever gone
still gonna
6
score
games.
50 times this year.
I think I saw that it was the first time in his career he's gone.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Is that right?
You
Yeah,
think
I
he'll
did see
score
that.
50? What did he have last year?
30 something. The funny thing about the Demers side quest joke is that he did the side quest thing where he legitimately said, I'm going to score more goals this year a few years ago. And he scored 60-some, won the Rocket Richard.
He scored 65, yeah.
Yeah. He legitimately said.
64, sorry, my bad.
And that he was like,
Yeah.
all right, going to try to score
He's
more
going
goals.
to get going, though.
He scored 26 goals last year.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
scored 26
Yeah.
last
No,
year?
he had a horrible season
Okay,
for.
I'll call it 40
yeah.
this
But
year.
it was in 67
Yeah,
games.
50 is going to be hard.
Okay.
If you end up scoring 1 in like 8 or 9 games, man, that puts a ton of pressure on you.
I mean, he does have 7 apples in 6 games.
Yeah, he's
It's
fine.
not bad. He's
He'll
okay.
be fine. He's Connor McDavid for.
I
God's
mean,
sakes.
I know we're going to commercial, but I can't get over the Leon fumble on the
Oh,
breakaway
my
down a goal
God.
against Detroit last night.
when have you ever seen that?
But that's like, it almost makes me laugh because it's not indicative of something that's going to happen with the team or a failing. It's like, they just had a whoopsie. Like this team it's not going how it usually goes. They'll be okay.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not as confident as I was last year that they're going to be good or great. I was the one last year digging in.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as last year.
Ask Jay Woodcroft about the slow starts. See how
Oh,
that
yeah,
guy-
yeah. Yeah, he probably still thinks about them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All
Okay.
right.
Quick break.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll break, and when we return, plenty more around the National Hockey League, including, I don't know, you didn't get to Detroit, right? I mean,
No, I didn't.
pretty good start by Larkin.
I would like to say that I quickly reversed course on that. We weren't halfway through the year when I said they'd be bad.
That was
they played
funny,
one
though.
game. I
That
said
was
to be bad.
funny.
I watched them play twice
No,
more. And
stay
I was
with
like, I was
it.
wrong.
Stay with
It was
No,
my-
because I don't believe it.
It was my fault. I was like, what's your hottest overreaction? And you're like, Detroit.
And I was legitimately 4 days later. I was like, nope, had that wrong.
Okay, we'll talk about Dylan Larkin looking like Connor McDavid, at least having the numbers that reflect a Connor McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the LA Kings. What do we think about the LA Kings? I think they made
The
I think
Detroit thing I said before.
they made a mistake before the season even started.
Kopitar.
We will get into that as well after the break. You're watching and listening to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Just before going to break, we mentioned the Detroit Red Wings. Nice victory over the Edmonton Oilers. They now have won 5 straight games since Justin Bourne said they stink. Did I get it right?
I am.
Yeah.
To be fair, they were bad opening night.
They were horrible.
Holy-
But
I watched them once. They stunk.
they did stink when you made that comment. So what is it? The goaltending? Is it Larkin?
Well, those things, but I actually think their D move the puck and they skate way better than I thought they would. That Sandin Pellikka, I don't know, Pellikka.
No, Pellica, you're right. Got it.
Sandin Pellikka.
Yeah.
I like him all right. He moves it good. Some of these guys, they got a little pep in their step back there. So
This Finn.
Emmett Finney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the games that we watched, he did stand out to me.
Yeah, he can move.
Yeah, he can move.
And he's playing on the top line, right? Like he's getting real
That's right.
opportunity for them. So
And he was like long shot.
Out of Lethbridge, Alberta, 7th round pick, like
Yeah.
Demers said.
There
He
you
played,
go.
Played his hockey in Kamloops, with the Kamloops Blazers. There you go.
these are the things you need for it to turn around. Like you need a couple of guys where you go, oh, that guy's a player. Didn't know he'd be a player.
Red Wings had some pretty good luck with late round picks.
But yeah, they have. However, they've had horrible luck in the draft lottery where
Yeah,
they continue to
yeah.
get bumped back every year.
So still early. 6 games in.
Yeah, I'm not
the
going to go
majority of
ahead and
everybody.
get too thrilled about Detroit.
But if you look at the Eastern Conference, we thought maybe there'd be another year where it's Tampa, Toronto, and Florida. And yet
Montreal and Ottawa.
we sit and watch the Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens sit atop.
Mm-hmm.
Early.
I'm
Early.
asking you guys.
Yeah.
So
Early.
you're very convinced that we still will reverse this. The Buffaloes, the Montreals, the Detroits, and the Ottawas will still be in that mushy middle when it's all said and done.
Here's what I think. I think right now the last two teams in the Eastern Conference are Ottawa and Tampa Bay. Those are not bad hockey teams. I don't think they're 2-4, 1-3-2 respectively. I don't think those are bad hockey teams. I think they're going to be in the wild card race this year. So I think they're going to pull it together. Boston, not believing. Florida's lost 4 in a row. So the door is undeniably open in the Atlantic for a Montreal Canadiens or a Detroit Red Wings to do this here. But I think they're just okay. I don't think they're special. The East is actually kind of soft.
I would say that my radar is definitely up on the Panthers in terms of just continuing. I think they lost Mikla in the last game they played. Like he went out.
He's going to play, though.
He's back.
Yeah.
But like just it feels like they've played so much hockey and the injuries are piling up. And listen, they got a lot of pedigree there and they're clearly still a great team. But like how many more guys can you just like lose?
You just got to get in.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think I'm not like,
Done
but you
for the
say
year.
it's like a top 3. Like I think they're a playoff team. Don't get me wrong, but it just Bennett I think is now back.
I do have a concern
-9.
about Tampa Bay and Vasilevsky.
Yeah, that might be valid. I look at Tampa Bay and I just like my brain refuses to think a team with Gensel, Braden Point, Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, can be bad. Like they just have really good top end guys. Hedman's still there, but boy,
For me, it's Vasilevsky pre-surgery, post-surgery.
He's just a average to worse now.
I just see pucks going through him now for a long time that we just we weren't used to seeing. Everybody could have a bad game, but it just seems like the goals that go in now constantly for the last little while are goals that we're not used to seeing.
Yeah. I will say, looking at their roster, there's a lot of Gonsalves and Pontus Holmberg and Chafee and Curtis Douglas and, J.J. Moser.
Yeah, that's part of the roster.
They're in trouble.
What'd you think of Marchand's antics against the Sabres?
Yeah, this is Marchand that we know and often at times like and most often hate. I mean, I would hate to play against him. I'd want to rip his head off.
Yeah.
He gets away with it.
The helmet ripping thing is what I'm thinking about when I answer this question. Yeah. Ripping out the ear flaps,
he had to wear
the crowd.
He had to wear somebody else's helmet because they don't have 2 helmets.
And I don't want to suck as a guy, so I'm like, it's okay. But I'll be honest, I hate it. It bothers me. It's just so tacky and childish and immature. I know that
Brad?
sucks. Yeah, well, that whole thing. It's like, yeah, but that's what he is, and that's what works. All right, I don't have to like it. Well, I'm not, Doug. Everybody's coming around. Well, I'm not, Doug.
Yeah, it's like your buddy who's like, he is who he is.
Yeah.
Usually means he's not a great guy.
Yeah.
That's just Brad.
That's who he is.
That's what he does.
Makeup also is part of what
makes
he
him great.
Does well in other areas. And listen, if I got cross-check like that, I'd go after him too a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. And then just turtling like that.
Here's the thing with Dahlin.
It's just a bad Buffalo Sabre look. I'm sorry.
Dahlin
don't blame the rest of the Sabres. They're trying to help him out.
I know. No, I just meant on Dahlin.
He's not an innocent bystander.
Like when
he's been greasy his whole career.
You cross-check that guy and you don't know what's coming, and then you just turtle.
Well, he was already on the ice. He jumped on top of him.
No, but Kip's right. He's got to.
Oh no, but you never listen. If you know you just cross-checked, like the snake, you don't take your foot off of him.
You know what it reminded me of is recently when Yossi hit Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk goes into the boards, and Yossi's on a knee, and Tkachuk's skating at him, and you see Yossi go. He gets up immediately. He's like, "I'm going to wear one if I just stand here." That's Dahlin there. Marchand is coming back at you. Yeah, the helmet stuff and all that.
That's the ideal Like, that's what Brad Marchand's looking for.
He wants you to be vulnerable.
A guy that's like, I can look like I'm going to drop my gloves for once, and I'm going to jump on top of a guy who's vulnerable. So, anyways. Hey, did you want to?
I did. I just mentioned the Kings, who are 1-3-2 right now in 6 games. It looks like Kopitar is going to be out for a little while here. And they did a press conference prior to the season calling for Kopitar's last season with the Kings. And I just thought it was a huge mistake. Huge.
Yeah, you hated this. You brought this up a few times.
Why? Why would you make a major announcement like that when you are still, most often than not, their number one centerman?
Do you think it's ticket sales?
Sorry?
Do you think it's related to ticket sales? Like, come see him while you can?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's just the focus now is a whole year of a guy who's just on this, I don't know, retirement, like, parade.
And now out week to week with something.
You know,
one thing.
Gretzky, the greatest player in our game, waited until 3 games before I think the season ended. I think he made the announcement in Ottawa, and then they were racing to retire him on the last game of the season in Madison Square Garden. That guy knew he was retiring well before the season, kept his mouth shut. Why would you attract all that attention?
Fair enough.
We got to play this, Ryan. Say his last name.
Oh, yeah. Warsofsky.
This is from, I believe, Saturday night.
Sharks coach.
Ryan. Say it again.
Sofsky.
Thank you. Let's play it.
Ryan, unfortunately, you've been a part of these slow starts here these last 3-4 years. I mean, this group, though, do you think it has sort of the resolve to sort of get back in it, maybe a little bit more so than previous years?
Yeah, I think so. Again, a lot of new players. We got to just keep working, keep teaching from the coaches. We got to keep preparing them. But yeah, trust me, it sucks. Keep telling myself there's got to be a reason why this keeps happening in a sense. I'd give up one of my children for a win. So it's frustrated. I'm sorry for swearing. We're very, very frustrated, and we're going to keep working at it.
Yeah, he didn't even laugh after that.
No, he was like, I would actively do that. Will one of you take them and give us a win?
How many kids does he have?
He must have a baker's dozen, Bob.
He's got to be talking about his like second or third. I not the first 2. The third you could probably give away.
I'd give up Lou Dog for a Game 7 win tonight, 100%.
One thing that I believe early in the season matters that tells you a story is goal differential. The Carolina Hurricanes are plus 12 in 5 games. I think they're a good hockey team.
Can I just ask an old guy question here for a second?
Yeah, plus minus.
When did F-bombs become so acceptable now?
Schneider's press conference after Game 5 was wild.
Billy Guerin, now Ryan, like F-bombs, no problem at all.
Buddy, there's no dress code.
Nobody flinches.
The world's a locker room. It used to be called locker room talk. Yeah. Now the world's the locker room.
I don't know if I like it.
I think that might stem from somewhere, but I'm not willing to say where.
Get out of here, then. Kipper, you used to say horse S on our show twice a week.
Yeah, but that's when no one was listening. He's trying to generate an audience.
I was also like removed from broadcasting, and I came back and I forgot.
You're in the broadcasting.
When was the last time I dropped something?
Been a while.
It has been a while.
Thank you.
Been a while.
Yes, goal differential, really quick before you go. Carolina is very good. The Colorado Avalanche, Jets, very good. Bad teams, Flames, Sharks, Senators. Sens are -10. No other team in the East is minus or worse than -5.
Really good game in Vegas tonight. Carolina and Vegas.
Ooh. All right.
Fast.
Don't go away. Don't effing go away. I didn't say it.
I know.
Leaf edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne next. Stolarz stirring it up.
This should be fun.
Even though Blue Jays are sucking all the oxygen in this city, you people have a lot to say on Stolarz comments, including yours truly, JB and Sammy. All coming up next with Jim Ralph also. Don't go away. Hard to believe with all the Blue Jay talk here that we've got an hour of a Leaf Hour edition of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. We are live on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet 590, The Fan in Toronto, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. And catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube when you don't get a chance. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Sammy?
Yep. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you noticed in all your Blue Jay hoopla that, Leafs aren't off to a great start. And,
I noticed.
Anthony Stolarz is fired up.
So before we get into the Leafs, I would like to read one stat, okay? One J stat.
Okay.
Seasons where one of the LCS, the League Championship Series, was a sweep and the other went 7 games. And the LCS has been a best-of-7 series since 1985. 2025, 2012, 2007, 2006, 1988. Each of the 4 prior times, the team winning the 7-game LCS won the World Series.
Can I tell you that trend carries over in hockey as well? That teams that go 7 tend to beat the team coming off a sweep.
So what I'm telling you is the team that wins...
If they're leaving and the Jays win, it's going to be a hard ballpark to get out of.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll be crazy?
It's going to be a zoo tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a zoo.
If they win tonight, it'll be a zoo.
I think a lot of fans will stick around though and watch the celebration, the interviews.
Yeah. So Bobby McMahon taking a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. If he ever does like one of those like cool guy Instagram dumps, I will 100% be in multiple pictures because he was like taking pictures of his family, and I'm like standing there waving my towel.
Profile.
Yeah. So there you go.
More pictures of you gnawing a towel like a dog.
Yes, correct. Eyes
All
over
right.
that.
We got to get into it.
Do we have to?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. Anthony Stolarz, who took a pretty good shot from Mason Marchment. Really, besides the Leafs' slow play this season, or what is perceived as less than stellar start to the season, it's kind of been buried right now over the last 24 hours or so in terms of Anthony Stolarz, his post-game comments. Where do you guys want to start with it?
I'll start by saying I think it's a good thing. I think for years the Leafs have had a culture of, I don't want to say lack of accountability, but I think it's been really rare to see people have any sort of public-facing scorn at all. And it goes back to Keefe. A little bit of criticism.
Just thought we played soft.
And then having to, apologize for the criticism.
Do you have them in the clips?
I have every clip you can imagine.
Which one? Which one?
All of them are good. All of them are good. Let's start with
the biggest nerve. Which one struck for you?
Let's start with the first clip. His overview of what happened in the game on Saturday night. Stolarz.
It was a good third period, but first 2 periods, we kind of let them walk all over us, and we just didn't play our game. They outworked us in front of the net. They blocked shots. They beat us up and down the ice, and the score was indicative of that. They just outworked us, plain and simple.
How about let's just go through them. Clip 2, please, on him on getting run.
Are you getting a little frustrated with guys taking runs at?
It's just playing hard. Maybe we can take a page out of their book and start getting to the net. For us, it's we like to go a little high and shoot, but it's for their goalie. It's like playing catch in the yard. He's seeing everything, and we're not making it difficult. We made it difficult in the third, and look what happened. We came out, tied the game, got a point out of it, almost scored with 5 seconds left, but it's a little too late. And I think, even though we're 6 games into the season, it's, enough's enough, and we kind of got to start picking it up here.
Do you want to respond to any of that, or do you want to just keep ripping?
Keep going.
All right, clip 3, please, Derek.
I'm not
on
happy.
Him getting run.
Guys are going to run me, and I'm going to try to stand up for myself. And I heard the ref say we got a power play, and there's really not much I can do to him on the ground. But kudos to the guys who were there and got down with him. But like I said, I think we got to start going to the cage a little harder, make it harder for their goalies. It's not fun. I don't like having 225-pound guys landing on me. So, hopefully, learn a lesson here.
And the finale, clip 4 on the overtime.
A lot of the guys have been here for a while. Overtime, you can't let someone beat you up the ice there, and gets a clear-cut breakaway. Minute left. You want to be on the ice in that situation. You got to work hard, got to work back, and cost us a point there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's early. We do have, some time to gel. But, I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's more or less just about working hard. And, when we work hard, the results come. You saw it in the third period. And, we can't play for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We got to do it for a complete 60.
Okay.
Did I miss the one where he said we've had guys here for a long time?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
At the start
Okay.
of that clip.
All right. Okay. I caught it. Okay. I think I got everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guys have been here for a while.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So, I mean, there's parts that I like, and then there's a lot of parts I don't like from Stolarz.
Let's start with what you like.
What I like, I like the passion and the emotion, and this team's been guilty of not having it. So that part I like, that it was something that was said that you don't necessarily hear. I just think in so many ways he crossed a line for me that he didn't need to go. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Berube had something to say about it today. Is that correct?
We do have that clip. It was Berube clip 6, please,
Yeah.
Derek.
It's frustration. We all prefer to stay in the room, but it happens. But we moved on from it.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm with Craig on this, that I appreciate the frustration. I feel for Stolarz too, because here's a guy that's got a knee that's, my guess is bone on bone, and at any time he feels like he could get hurt again. So he's ultra sensitive, and I'd feel the same way if I was getting run, right? So I understand that level of frustration that Berube just talked about. I just don't think Stolarz needed to go public with it.
Yeah. So,
Okay?
do you want to keep going?
No.
Okay.
You guys let me know how you feel. And you're okay with him going public?
I'm only okay with him going public because it's game 6 and you're trying to change the, and I quote, DNA of the team. You're trying to set a new course and be different, and they are going about it exactly the same.
Okay. I say don't do it because it's only game 6.
No,
don't
but when's
do
it?
it.
Hey, Todd McClellan already came out and said, "When's it going to be time?" And all of a sudden, they went 5 in a row.
Todd. It wasn't game 1 for Todd. It was game 83 because he felt
So
it
what's
from
it
the
for
year
the Leafs?
before.
It's game 483.
At least Todd's the coach. Okay, it's not a player, and for someone to come out and call out your core guys, to call out in many ways, we do know he was talking about Willie Nylander.
Yep.
Okay.
100%.
But he went, guys here for a long time. So he's also talking a bit about Matthews, and he's talking about Morgan Riley. That's the way guys in the room would look at it. Guys here that have been here a long time. I'm included in that. He's not Marty Brodeur. He's not Vasilevsky. He's Anthony Stolarz, who has never played more than 35 games in a season.
He's the best goaltender in the NHL by save percentage last year. He's also not Dennis Hildeby.
He's not a guy, in my opinion right now, that can stand up in the room and saying, I'm doing my job.
You know why he is one? Because he just signed a 4-year contract extension to be a guy there.
No. He's not in a position. Nobody cares whether it's who you are and who's calling out Nylander right now.
Who matters on that team more than him that isn't Austin Matthews?
No one.
I don't think there's enough credibility out there now for him and his history to start calling guys out. I don't think he's got the backbone to do it right now from his resume. I'm sorry, but he played last year, 34 games. That's like a backup goalie, okay? He wasn't in the trenches against Florida, okay? He got bumped by Bennett.
He was against
threw
Ottawa.
up, needed a stretcher to leave the building, And now you're going to come back after 6 games and you're going to start calling out Willie Nylander in public? No, like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. You are not in that position.
I get the idea.
You're not that guy yet. You're not that guy yet.
I get the idea that, people want this stuff behind the scenes. They want them to have this talk. And by all accounts, I don't think we have a quote on this because it was early, just like an hour ago. But he said he talked to Willie
we have the
today.
clip.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
I think I just put it in there. There, the latest Stolarz clip.
Yeah, we've discussed it, and we're all competitive guys, and we all want to win. It's pro sports, and at the end of the day, our goal is to win the Stanley Cup, and in order to get there, it's a process, and like I said, we've had some discussions, and we love each other. It's a family in here, and we're looking to move on.
And what was it like with William? He didn't seem to have any issues, or what was that conversation like with you?
Yeah, obviously I pulled Willie aside, and we had a conversation, and he's someone I admire and someone I respect deeply. I mean, there's a reason he's been in this league for so long. He's a hell of a player, and he pushes me, I push him. You look at his offensive skill. He's made me a better goalie just by facing him every day in practice. And like I said, we're a family in here, and we're looking to push each other and get to our ultimate goal at the end of the day.
I like that he now has some pressure from
you better be on your A game. You have no window now
and vice
to get
versa.
hurt, to disappear. No.
What if there's pressure though? I'm going to go ahead and accuse you the last couple of years. You have wanted these guys to be coddled because there's egos and they're going to get their feelings hurt. And he says in there, it's pro sports.
It's not
always,
feelings
you can't
hurt.
take a guy up PP1 because these guys have egos. They need their cookies. Egos. Sometimes on a team you get called out. I don't see why that's a problem.
It depends who's doing the call out.
I honestly could not disagree with you more, Kyper, on this. From a fan's perspective, it's so refreshing to hear anyone ever say anything. I've been listening to these post-game press conferences from this team for 10 years.
I know, it's refreshing.
And no one's ever said one thing, and they've all just gone in there and given their stock quotes and got the hell out of there as fast as they can.
I just don't know how a guy like Willie Nylander is going to like being called out
too
on
bad.
by
He makes
Stolarz.
$11.5 million, and he blew
I know
a
it's too
coverage.
bad, but you're not in that room every day, Sammy.
I know I'm
you
not.
don't care. You're sitting from your... You're never wrong. You're like, we're never wrong here. I'm just talking inside that room.
What are you talking about?
In that room, it's a different dynamic. There are egos. I'm telling you, there are egos.
I know it exists, but so what if they get hurt?
It's so what to you and I and Sam and every fan on Instagram.
Do you think Nylander's going to crawl into a hole and play bad now?
He could. Yeah, I do. I've seen it before.
That would be hilarious.
I've seen guys going, all right.
Well, then you're not going to win a cup.
No,
if you get a meanie comment and
you're not. You're not. Okay? It's 6 games in. Okay? It's 6 games in. Like Stolarz, you're done now. You had a bullet in your chamber. You pull it out in game 6. So what happens now if they have a bad night, against Jersey tomorrow night, or now they're 1-9, and is Stolarz now going to be the guy that the media now goes to? Hey, tell us how you feel, right?
Probably. Yeah.
You think he'll ever call anybody out again, even if they lose the next 4 games?
But
it's done.
Who cares either way?
Don't go to that bullet game 6. If you've got that one card to play it when you need it, not 6 games in. You don't call out Willie Nylander. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Willie Nylander, but if I'm Willie right now, 6 games in, and I've scored my 9 or 10 points, I'm sitting there going, hey, Anthony, really?
You tie your handkerchief bindle to a stick and leave town?
I'm not working hard enough for you? Really?
If there's anybody on the Leafs that's able to take this, it's him. He had talked about
with a big deal, really.
The other thing that Stolarz has going for him is the truth.
Yeah.
He's right. Willie was brutal on the back check. Guys are crashing into him all night.
Oof.
The other goalie is playing catch. He just said what everyone saw. So what if he tells the truth? This is a joke. Brandon Carlo,
he's not
standing
wrong.
there beside him.
He's not wrong.
He's not. He's dead right.
The truth is the truth, but you don't have to go public with it this early. You don't.
The truth
you
is
don't
reality.
have to air
It's a
your
shared
laundry.
truth.
You don't have to air your laundry publicly. Okay? I've seen it in rooms where guys have gotten fisticuffs over you're not back checking. You hung me out to dry. You this, you that. You don't air it out publicly. I'm sure he had choice words for Willie or everybody in the room, but to go in front of that media in Toronto 6 games in.
This is Toronto media garbage out of you.
This is
the overhyping, overdramatic. Nothing even happened.
Keep it in the room.
Can I ask you something?
This early.
Are the Leafs a team that you've watched through 6 games that you think don't need a wake-up call? Because they are for me. They have been playing a malaise game for 6 games, and it's just no energy, no anything.
Out of Tree Living, out of Keith Pelly, out of Berube. I don't want to see it out of Stolarz right now.
It is disheartening that every time, and for now this is year 2, the Leafs looking like this, and Berube goes, we'll keep it in the room. Like, there's a lot of fans going, why is no one mad about this? Is no one watching?
You think Berube backed Stolar's comments today, or did he just say?
He said, we know it's frustrating. Right? We want to keep it in the room. That's what he said.
That's right.
But they've been keeping it in the room for 10 years.
Chiefs been around long enough to go, that's dangerous stuff right now. When you start calling out your teammates publicly, it's dangerous. This could implode the whole room, bud. It can go 2 ways.
Could you be more of a gentle flower, an orchid? I mean, this could implode the whole room.
It could. Yeah, it can. It could cause divisions.
That would be pathetic.
If that does,
it could be pathetic. But
we're
talking about.
I don't think it's a big deal.
I think it's a big deal. I think
Stolarz as well. You know, we just saw the clip of Marchment smacking into him there, whatever. I don't want to come on here today and be like, the Leafs need to be punchier or whatever. But that Carlo one, to me, Brandon Carlo shouldn't play tomorrow night. Not only was he not good last game, like I'm maybe this is too dramatic, but
again, you're not you're just from your chair. It's easy for you to say.
It is. I acknowledge.
You know how tough it is.
I know.
On Brad Tree Living, who gave
just
up
traded
a
for
first, Minton, and a 4th for Carlo, and then he's going to turn around and tell everybody this guy is no good and a healthy scratch.
Again, arguing for doing the wrong thing to protect egos.
It's not right or wrong. It's how it works.
I'm
not judging it.
I know you're
I'm
right.
telling you, Tree Living doesn't want to embarrass himself.
I know.
And that's
you
pro
are correct.
Sports.
And absolutely.
That's at the highest level.
I know that.
But you're talking practical.
I am. I'm talking about
practical.
meritocracy. I'm talking about running
but that's
a
not
team that wins.
It's not the NHL world where egos run. Star players' egos run the show.
Yeah. And when you can get those in line, when you can get guys to buy in and they go play for the Florida Panthers or the Boston Bruins during their run or the Pittsburgh Penguins during their run, and great players with egos fall in line, say, I'm willing to take less. Yeah. I'm willing to do my part. Yeah. You win.
You're talking now about culture.
Winning culture.
That you don't flip a switch and decide now today I'm going to have culture.
Start somewhere, doesn't it?
For 10 years, it's been run a certain way. They've been brought up a certain way. You ain't flipping that switch now.
But so what's the argument then? To not flip it ever? Not try to flip it?
But the flip has to come up top. It doesn't come from Stolarz.
All right. That'll get.
Okay?
Yep. Yeah, no, listen, I get that.
There's another question. What do players think about being a goalie that's speaking up? Like from a positional thing. Like, does that, like, if it's a different type of goalie, like if it's a guy that you think has more, reason to speak up, that's not Stolarz, he doesn't have the credibility to do it, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's a goalie that's calling everybody out just from a positional thing, is that weird for guys?
No, it has everything to do with you, your credibility, and who you are. And I like Stolarz, and I think he's been fantastic.
Been their best player.
Okay, he's been their best player for 6 games.
Yeah, and a lot of last year. He bailed them out. Like, how many points did he steal from them last year?
Being your best player in 6 games when you played 34 the year before and you couldn't play against Florida because you got bumped in the head.
Yeah.
Is not that – you're not that guy yet.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, I guess that's where we disagree.
That's a perspective thing, I guess. Like you're looking for him to be Vasilevsky or Lundqvist. Or,
You gotta to go down that path. You got to be methodical about it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to really think long and hard. And he got caught up in his emotions, and I understand that and the frustration, and I get that too. It's just there's a lot of things that can go wrong after the fact.
let's put a bow. We have 2 Berube clips on defending your goalie as well. Sam, would those be worthwhile, or have we already beat those points to death?
Well, yeah, I think we've kind of. I mean,
Okay.
did you? Kip, I didn't get your take on Carlo Kipper. I mean, is that not one of the most offensive things you've ever seen?
Okay, rinse, repeat. You heard my take on Cowan getting thrown in.
But that one is the worst
boards.
one I maybe have ever seen. Like he was
Game 6.
till the
We have a
last
power
one, till
play.
the next one. I mean, I hated everything about it, but are you surprised?
yes.
I kind of thought last year he'd be someone who would at least go through the motions.
He
You know,
wasn't
he had a
that
pretty
guy in Boston.
No.
I got news for you. For anybody that paid attention,
Not looking for him to be
do you
heavy.
think the Boston Bruins are getting rid of a big, heavy, tough defenseman?
Kipper, it's not about him being that guy. If you step onto a sheet of ice and that happens, everyone should be that guy, regardless of who. That's a
no
green.
doubt if the zigzags goalie got
Oh my
bumped into
God,
like that, you
that
guys
is-
are going
Yeah,
in there.
but we have a team full of mutants, so yes, that would happen. But like, what level of hockey ever played is that not gloves everywhere?
Curious, like, would Carlo have just stood there and helped Marchment out of the net if Stolarz wasn't mad?
Like what?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, and like they're not close to being like last year. They were hard to play against last year, were they? Come on, they scored over 100 points. They won the division. They were tougher than this. They were stronger. They were a closer knit group than this.
But like you're looking at the personnel, Kip, and it's like, okay, well, Mitch Marner wasn't those things. So what are they missing from last year?
I don't know.
I guess it's tough that Joshua and Waugh are both big guys who also don't have edge. You know,
So sorry to get off, but I just saw a tweet from Alex Xero, does great work for City News 680, saying Vladdy arrives at the Rogers Center wearing an Austin Matthews Maple Leafs jersey.
oh my god,
For Game 7.
it's either gonna fix Austin or ruin Vladdy.
Oh God.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
kidding? This is Derek. This is my nightmare. Why?
This is my nightmare.
I have been waiting to be like seeing Vladdy's postseason should give Leafs fans that, into a career somewhat. You can find it.
Oh God.
Okay.
Anyways,
Max Domi expected to play with Austin Matthews
correct.
and Nyes
God,
tomorrow
I'm grumped
night
today 'cause I
against
hate
New
everything.
Jersey. Like, why did he? Well, I don't know. You know how I felt about the changes because Scott Lawton left.
They changed
But,
everything because of that.
Like, this is where he should have been to start for a week, 10 days. Give it a chance. This is the guy Matthews wants.
I mean, if that's the case, that's great. Is that what you think?
Oh,
No.
I guarantee if Matthews had his choice between, I don't know,
Nylander?
Yarncroc and I don't know, Michelli and
I don't understand.
Robertson. He wants Max Domi.
Yeah. I put out some lines I'd like to see earlier today where I just don't know that Matthews and Nyes have to play together. Right? Like I hope there's other looks that are possible. Like could you do something like McMahon with Matthews and Nylander, Nyes with Tavares and Domi? Nyes, Tavares, Domi's not bad to me.
I think that we're still stuck in the pairings world.
Where
Where
you
it
got
just
two guys,
it's
yeah.
Matthews and Nyes and Tavares and Nylander seem like they're joined at the hip, and then they're just going to figure out everything else around the
But
lineup.
JT's getting his points. Nylander's getting his points.
Yep.
So you don't want to mess with that. And I don't know what's going on with the fourth line. I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
Robertson, Lorentz, Yarncroc.
That's a great hockey line right there.
Okay, like for the
Joshua
life
Waugh
of me,
McMahon's
one more
awesome.
time, explain to me why like Kemp can't come back up and just play a fourth line?
That's a great question. That is a really great question. I imagine
A
it's
natural
because
centerman.
they've just told him you're not a part of our plans, and they don't want to.
But why? Because he makes too much money?
No, Kip, I don't know. I don't know their thing with David Kampf. Did he come into camp in bad shape this year?
I don't know.
It's pretty good stuff.
And Kalle Järnkrok not playing?
He is playing.
No,
but
not
he-
playing Saturday.
Oh,
Okay,
Crazy.
Explain
Yeah.
that to me, please.
No, I
He's got
can't.
3 goals in 3 games.
works, kills penalties, has been
Can
great
go
to start the year.
anywhere.
Great shape.
Like, I don't get that one either.
Well, I'm watching Nick Robertson out there on the penalty kill. I'm like, yeah, really had to scratch Kalle Järnkrok, eh?
Right.
It's like, holy smokes.
I guess Pizzetta he must be off to a terrible start.
Well, he's playing the 4th line of the Marlies. So,
All right. Sammy Blaze is on the roster, but they don't want to give him a crack. Cowan is out.
Yeah.
You okay with him taking a breather?
This is exactly the way I thought it would play out all along. I said he doesn't have to play every game to start the season. There's times when I think he brings great energy, and I like him out then. And there's other times, as has been shown, that he can be overwhelmed, cough up the puck a few times, and you need to back off.
Yeah.
But
It's okay.
he's not ready to help you contend for the Stanley Cup right now. He is in a development process still, and if you want to do it at the NHL level, you do it, but you better protect this kid.
Yeah. I like it for that reason. I think it's actually healthy to watch the game from up above, take a breather, and just get to step back from the pressure for a night. And then I think you come back in kind of refreshed. I am curious, about his overall usage. Are they going to drag out an NHL stint and then eventually send him down, or what they do?
All right, let's go to Craig Berube on Max going to the top line. We haven't played that, have we?
no. But
Okay. Clip 8.
Because it just, that was like, a plan we had, trying Max there, and I know he's played in the past with those guys. So I just wanted to get to that, just see how it looks and see where we go from there, and that's the real reason.
Definitive.
Matthews
Game time?
wants it.
Game time?
Game time.
It's game time, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. I have to say, fellas, tonight is an all-time happiness hedge opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The
the
Toronto
number?
Blue Jays are favored in this game. The Toronto Blue Jays, this line should plummet after Vladdy put on a Matthews jersey going to the game, but they are minus 135.
You just stop that.
That's my nightmare. I can't believe he did that.
But
Anyways,
he also, I was born for this thing is so cool.
so cool.
So cool.
But then he put on a Matthews jersey.
Well, no, but all of it is like, boy,
yeah.
great night to have a great night.
It would be really good to have a good night. The Jays are minus 135. The Seattle Mariners are plus 115 tonight. It is just, there have been few greater spots for my favorite thing as a happiness hedge. So not sure how much I'm going to put on that tonight, but there will be some money
Enough
down
for
on
a
that.
World Series ticket.
Well, it's kind of, anyways. And I just wanted to bring up the, I just lost it here. Give me again tonight. I've been so close the last couple nights, but he's just been red hot. Give me an Ernie Clement home run tonight.
He thought he hit one out last game.
He was centimeters away in 2 straight games. Give me a home.
batting like 500.
He's
Like a million.
unbelievable.
a million.
What inning was it that they pitched him like he was Barry Bonds?
I know. They threw nothing near
They
the
wouldn't
plate.
even go near him. So give me a home run from him at plus 1250. Plus 1250 for an Ernie Clement home run tonight. Ugh.
Oh, I just got nervous for the game.
I am petrified. That was Game Time, presented by Bet365. See why it's never ordered.
A reminder, this
Please
hour
play.
of Real Kipper and Bourne brought to you by
It's hard when your team is
365.
That's a great looking sweater.
What do we got, Sammy?
That
For
is a
man,
beautiful
why did he-
sweater.
You all right?
I really wish I could
Sammy?
go back in time 10 minutes and just wish this didn't
okay.
happen.
We'll get him.
What do we got,
Wow,
Sammy?
he looks
good.
the city.
4.5 hours to first pitch.
Insane.
You okay?
We're getting there.
Hey, you all right?
I was a lot better before I saw
Okay,
him.
let's go to
Body
break.
Matthews
When we
jersey.
return,
Oh
more.
my
gosh.
Would you stop with the Vladdy
wearing an Austin shirt in your
First time
dark
this year, bud?
basement?
Love it.
You have no bearing on the
So it's
game,
gonna
Kipper
affect
and
Vladdy,
Bourne.
that's what you think?
You have no bearing on the game.
Kipper, you're not in the mud with me. Do you know what I'm going to have to hear about if the Jays lose tonight?
Sam,
And
you're not a pig.
You're not in the mud with me, buddy. I'm
The
in the
mud
mud.
boys. Sam makes a good point. This affects Sam more than Vladdy. Because Vladdy's been fantastic, but Sam's going to have to hear about how Austin Matthews cost the Jays Game 7.
Correct.
Is there a professional shrink out there that would volunteer their services for our Sam?
Steal my will to
I'd
live.
like to get you on a couch and just have you assessed.
Yeah, I would be curious to know what
Professionally.
events in his childhood, and perhaps his parents can tell us, his lovely parents, by the way, could tell us what went wrong.
I just care. I care deeply. And I hate bad omens. And I'm a sports psycho when it comes. It's just.
I talked to someone today who said that the Jays win when they're not able to watch. So they're so invested in the Jays, they are going to not
I know
watch
there's a lot
tonight.
of people like that.
Have you ever heard of that? I
Yes.
love the team so much, I'm not
Yes.
going to watch.
Yes.
So you watch it on replay, or you just won't watch it
Updating
at
their
all?
phone, like checking the app to see the score.
Honestly, the best move tonight is just to go for a 4-hour-long walk with no phone.
What fun is this? You're missing the whole point of sports.
We just find out. You just find out.
All right. Oh God, I had something very important to ask before that nonsense.
All right, did you find
tangent.
our very own Jim Ralph?
I just texted.
It is the Joe Bowen retirement tour this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to asking Ralphie about that. 44 years, Bowen has been the voice of the Leafs on Fan 590.
All right, you don't have to wait much longer.
All
Here
right.
he is, Jim Ralph, Toronto Maple Leaf Radio color analyst. Ralphie, are you at the Dome now? Did you get tickets? Are you going to Game 7?
No tickets.
No ticket. Will you be in a dark basement with Sammy?
I got all these free Leaf tickets. I don't know what to do.
All right, buddy. I want to get into it because we had a very lengthy conversation on Stolarz and his comments. Yeah. And Ralphie, I'm not saying that he didn't have a right to say what he said. Of course he does. Everybody has that right. I don't know where I want to start with you, other than I personally thought it was too early to kind of play a card like that 6 games into the season. But where were you on it?
Yeah, I mean, watching it, the one thing, Kyper, is he wasn't over the top. I thought he just sort of said it factually. This is what we've got to do better. This is what we've got to turn it around now, type thing. So I didn't really look at it as an over the top comment, but the way things work now, and everything gets retweeted and replayed, and it gets blown up. But I think it was sort of the heat of the moment and speaking from the heart, and of course everybody's going to run with it.
Yeah, it's a hot media environment which you are a part of. Let's just go ahead and zoom out and get your thoughts on the Leafs so far this year. Where are they at compared to last year? What have you seen to make you feel like they're different?
Yeah, different, and still, even trying to find somebody to play with Matthews and Nines. It's so reminiscent of trying Nick Ritchie with Marner and Matthews, and trying Joe Thornton with Marner and Matthews, trying to find that chemistry or that fit to fill out the top line. So there's more similarities to me maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And right now, I think you look at every game they played, the 6 games, they could be 0-6 or they could be 6-0. And they played a lot of games like that last year where it was they could go either way. It's a power play goal. It's an overtime goal. It's one moment that defines the outcome of the game. So, they haven't been outplayed, but they haven't been dominant to this point either.
Your thoughts on what transpired with part of Stolarz's frustration, I think, is just the contact, the constant contact. We see guys driving towards him. Of course, he's had health issues, particularly with his knees. I totally get the feeling of, I don't want to be out 6 weeks again. The Carlo reaction or not reaction, is it just, it's just way the guys are playing the game today where you don't necessarily have to be like us, Ralphie, in our heyday where we would have just probably turned it into a 4-hour game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and let's not forget too, when he left the series against Florida last year, there was the Sam Bennett hit, but he took a shot to the mask before that. And he also took a shot to the mask in the Ranger game. So you remember the mask came off, they didn't blow the whistle. And, he was forced to make another save without a mask. So I don't think this was necessarily one game. I think this is just sort of a build-up, to what we saw on Saturday night. And he just sort of had it. I don't think this was a one-off. And by the way, just to let you guys know, I had it out with a defenseman once. But it was in the dressing room, and he finally told me to worry about my own job. And I said, every time you're on the ice, I worry about my job. But at least it wasn't on Twitter the next day.
That's what that's
a great line.
Does happen. That's part of the way it works, I guess.
We did miss the playoffs that year, by the way.
Oh boy. Your thoughts on Easton Cowan sitting out for a night and watching from the press box?
Yeah, I think, it sort of reminds me when Marner did come into the league and the Mike Babcock, his third, fourth line, he'd move him up to the top six, and then he might sit him the odd night. And, I think one thing I've been impressed with, he's not afraid to be physical. He doesn't play like he's afraid of the size of the opponents in this league. But they haven't been. I think Matthias Maccelli's sort of in the same boat. They haven't really clicked in at the start the way you'd like them to, and so that's going to be a work in progress. And I think you look a little further down the road. If everybody stays healthy and you get Scott Laughton back, now you've got even more decisions to make as to who's on the outside looking in.
Ralphie, we've seen Morgan a lot more active, getting on the score sheet as well. What have you seen that's been different for Morgan?
Yeah, just a little more swagger, hey, Kyper? Where, I remember the season he scored the 21 goals, he played with Ron Hainsey most of the year. So now you've got Brandon Carlo, although Craig Berube did mix up the defensive combination Saturday for a bit. But I think it really benefits him to play with that big stay-at-home defenseman type of guy. And I think he's taking advantage of that and feels a little more comfortable that if I get caught, somebody's got my back and it's not going to be a breakaway or 2-on-1 the other way. But I like the fact that he seems to be more proactive rather than tentative as far as when to jump in and not being sure. He sees a space and he jumps into the play, which I think is good news for the Leafs because I think they were last in the league in defense scoring last year. I think they only had 21 goals. And to put that in perspective, Ian Turnbull had 22 one year. So that was something that I think the Leafs lacked last year was, the defense ending up in the score sheet.
Ralphie, the new guys have not, I don't want to say made an impact, but like Joshua almost scored his first goal the other night. Waz playing 11, 12 minutes a night. Maccelli, no goals, 1 assist. Have you seen anything in their progress so far that's positive, or are you concerned that these guys have been so minimally impactful?
Yeah, I think, Bourne, it's fair to say you want a little more offense out of the bottom six. Mm-hmm. And Joshua did have a great chance in the third period. But, I mean, to me, that might be his only scoring chance that he's had. The season a couple of years ago where he had 18 or 19 goals with Vancouver. So, you're kind of hoping to get him back to the 15-goal range. Nick Waz always been like a 14 to 16 goal scorer, and both his points came in Detroit in the second game of the season. So, yeah, I think you're hoping for more, that they gel and start to control longer shifts in the offensive zone, get in on the forecheck a little bit better, and hopefully that's going to come with time. But I think that's kind of part of the reason you're only a game above 500 right now is we haven't seen, even if it's not the scoring, but just dominate some shifts and get them back on their heels and tire up the defense until the Matthews or Tavares line gets on.
You're listening to Jim Ralph, Toronto Maple Leaf radio color analyst. I know it's early here, just a half a dozen games for a lot of teams here, Ralphie, but is there a sense or small sample size enough for you to think that there might be a shift in the Atlantic Division somewhat with the likes of Detroit and Montreal?
Yeah, I think it's too early, Kyper. I know, Detroit's been on a pretty good run. And you remember, you can talk about Stolarz being too early in the season to call players out. Todd McClellan did that after the first game.
Yep.
And Detroit ends up turning it around. So, maybe there is something to positive to come out of Stolarz coming in after a game saying, you know what, we got to start doing things better. And he and Craig Berube both in the post-game press conference used the phrase "enough is enough," and that's very similar to what Todd McClellan said after the first game for the Red Wings when they lost at home to the Montreal Canadiens. So maybe that's a little bit of an igniter that hopefully we'll see that bleed into tomorrow's game against Jersey.
So, Ralphie, this is the Joe Bowen retirement tour season here. Just want to have you tell us a little bit about your years with Joe. It's his 44th season, and just also please give us comfort and tell us that you're still going to be around. I love my boy Todd Crocker, the Marlies. I hope you get to work with him. But tell us what's up.
It's not your final swing song there, is it, yeah. Ralphie? Too.
Well, the way I look at it, I got 6 months to talk him out of it. Because it's hard to believe that it's been 29 years to this point, and I know Joe always jokes that between us during that time we've been through 5 marriages, and this is the longest relationship either one of us has ever had outside of our kids.
That's great.
I told him if he leaves, I said I want the house and I want monthly payments.
You deserve it, Ralphie. You were wronged.
What is he going to do, Ralphie, without you?
It is strange. You do opening night and you're going, wow, it's his last opening night. And even, a little side story to this is the first game he did, I believe it was October 6, 1982 in Chicago. And I was in the building that night. Mm-hmm. And the next day, both of us got sent to a different city. So, but here we are years later.
Wow.
Beside each other. So it is sad. As much as you want to celebrate the season and everything that he has done for the organization and how he's brought up, there's a little bit of sadness to it. Because I'll be honest, I never watched a single episode of The Office after Steve Carell left. I never watched one episode of Yellowstone after Kevin Costner was written out. But I don't handle change that well.
No kidding.
Well, we got you still for 76 more when it comes to you and Joe, so we're not going to rush those anytime soon, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to try to enjoy it. And it looks like they're going to honor him the proper way for his last season.
Awesome stuff, Ralphie. Always a pleasure catching up with you, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Bourne.
That is Jimmy Ralph. Yeah, you know what I mean? Ralphie spoke about Stolarz, and listen, I'm not suggesting at all. I don't want people to think that I think this is the worst thing to ever happen. I hope they can galvanize the situation here, and he can turn it around. In his play, he's held them in every game. I don't know. Ralphie said they could be 6-0. Really?
Agree with that?
No, but
I think they could be 5-1.
I think it's
the
a
one
concern.
Red Wing game they should not have won.
They got 2 things going for them right now. Go ahead.
Where could they have possibly won?
Well, they against the Red Wings, they kicked their crap out of them, and Talbot stood in his head. They could have won in overtime.
Punted that. They got scored on 40 seconds left.
Yeah,
in that one.
yeah. They could have beat Seattle.
But every game, the metrics suggest that they've been outplayed.
But this is,
metrics.
Yeah.
Since when are you a metrics guy?
But you know what? Last year,
I listen. Possession.
But they win.
Ozone possession.
But they did that all last year too, Ken.
But here's the one thing.
Not this bad.
They don't have the puck as much as the other team, but they do get as many high danger chances as the other team.
They're quick.
So they get those opportunities and limit them okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 2 things that I think they have going for them right now, Jays are helping.
Yeah.
Because no one's paying as much attention while they try to figure out some things.
They're hoping for a Jays win tonight.
And the other thing is that their schedule has been soft, right? So it's like, while they've been pretty stinky. They haven't exactly been playing the creme de la creme.
I think all but one playoff game.
Only
playoff
Montreal
team.
made playoffs of who they played so far. And Montreal was a wild card.
Is it 14
What's that?
of 15 non-playoff teams?
You're going to say to start the season?
Yeah, to start the season.
It's something to that effect. I know their October is like
They got it. This is where they can't really come out of 15 games 500.
But I think, Kip, if they played these first 10 games against good teams, they'd be
better.
No, I think they'd be in a pit. I think their record would
really?
be like,
You don't think they would have been forced to play harder?
Well, I think that's an interesting point. Maybe.
Their
Their
next games coming up here: Devils Tuesday, Sabres,
No
Flames,
playoff. No playoff.
Jackets,
No playoff.
Flyers,
No playoff.
Penguins,
No playoff.
Mammoth,
No playoff.
Bruins,
No playoff.
Hurricanes.
All right.
Playoffs.
So New Jersey is a good game tomorrow night.
They've had a good start.
New Jersey looks really good. Yeah.
Are they as fast as they were last year?
God, they're fast.
Could be a problem.
If
Economy, please.
Bratt and Hughes are doing their thing, you're chasing them around.
Oh God, I'm so nervous.
So, is it Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby versus Bieber.
He needs another stinker.
Yeah, he was
Kirby.
no good. He was no good.
What game? 2?
I assume
3.
They've got everyone waiting to throw too, though.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure Castillo will be available, but he was no good either. Oh boy. All hands on deck. It's game 7.
Does that mean low scoring game? Because anyone throws 2 bad pitches, it's like bring in the next guy.
Don't love the Jays in a low scoring game.
Yeah.
Jays need to get on the sticks.
13-11 final.
Man. Yeah, right.
I think 7-4 final. Jays.
Oh, we'll take anything.
And I
with
think
one above.
Ernie Clement's going to hit a home run.
Ooh.
There you go.
I'll do
MVP.
I'll do 5-2.
Give me an MVP
4-2.
of the series.
I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But he just hits home run every night.
Regardless of what happens at this
although
what do you think of them throwing at him yesterday? I think that was on purpose.
No.
I was thinking, like, why walk this guy when you can just hit him every time? Just throw it at him. That made sense.
All right, wherever you are, enjoy the game tonight. 7 p.m. when things get started on Sportsnet. Mariners, Jays, and some NHL games. I don't know.
Blue Jays, come on.
Sammy, breathe, buddy, breathe. Our thanks to Jason Demers and Jimmy Ralph. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Go Ted Reeve Tornadoes tonight. Here we go.
Is that your son's game?
I'm going to coach right now.
Ted Reeve Tornadoes.
Are you one of those
boys.
paid coaches?
Paid? What's the opposite of paid? It costs a lot of money.
Pay and rink fries.
Yeah.
Have a great night, everybody. We're back tomorrow. Real Kyper and Bourne. Thanks for joining us.